What if your home water system fails and you can't get someone out to fix it, or you can't get parts? That's a problem. Let's talk about a solution.
Hey Provident Preppers, I'm Kylene.
And I'm Jonathan. Today we're talking about your home water system and the possibility that that could fail and you may not be able to get parts, or you may not be able to get someone out to help get that put back together. In that case, a lot of times you're just going to have to turn off your system, and that's not fun.
No, because his job is to keep everything functioning normally in my life, which means when I turn on the tap, I want water coming out.
Yeah, and so a couple of years ago I started thinking about this, about how important it would be for me to be able to take care of any little repairs that we need, or large repairs, whatever may be the case, so that we can keep this system functioning.
I think there's a couple important parts to this, and that is, one, you need to have the skill level, which I don't, but he does, which means I always have to have my Johnny.
Well, and part of this is teaching, and so she's going to be doing some learning. She's done a little bit of learning already, and she'll be doing more learning, because if I'm not around, she needs to be able to take care of it.
I do, but you know, anytime I pick up a tool, it terrifies him. Like, seriously, it terrifies him. If I start working on a project that has been way down on his list, suddenly it becomes the highest priority, because sometimes I just don't do it right. As important as the skill is, having the parts to repair is also critical, because if I have the parts, I might be able to find somebody who knows what they're doing to help me. But even if I have a neighbor who's a plumber, he can't help me if I don't have parts to fix it. And so both of those are really important.
Yeah, the parts and the tools. And so we'll talk a little bit about that today, so that you can hopefully do what I've done and build a little kit that would allow you to take care of things. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your home plumbing system. Most homes today are plumbed with PEX pipe, polyethylene pipe. This is awesome stuff. It's several large steps above some of the other plumbing systems that I've had to work with. This is very easy to work with. So this is what most homes today are plumbed with, is this PEX pipe, and it's especially the 1/2 inch is very flexible. So you can bend it all kinds of places wherever you need to get the job done. Some of the older systems used copper. So that was probably before PEX. This was kind of the standard. A little harder to work with. You'd have to know how to solder these joints, which isn't super hard to learn, but it's just a longer process, not as easy to work with. Obviously, you need some tubing cutters to do that, and then solder and the ability to solder those joints. And then back when dinosaurs were on the earth, and towards the tail end of that, I bought my first home, which was plumbed with galvanized pipe. This is black iron pipe. I didn't have a piece of galvanized, but these are galvanized ends here. And this was, you know, a good water system, but much harder to work with, just a harder system to try and maintain. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of some of the spectrum of plumbing that you might be encountering.
And depending on which system I have, the tools that I need will be different, and the parts to fix it will be different, right?
Yes,
That's why that's
yes.
so important.
Now, fortunately, for both the copper and the galvanized, they now have adapters that you can use so that you can convert to, you know, if you had something break, you could get an adapter, use PEX pipe to fix that, and then another adapter to put it back on the other end.
So let's talk a little bit. Well, first of all, okay, it's making me crazy. There are different colors, right? So in ours, we've got the PEX.
Right.
Why do we have different colors?
And they all have the same performance spec. They all are basically the same, just different colors. And the red is typically for hot, the blue is typically for cold, and the white is just for general use. And a lot of the plumbing as you come in your home and to your manifold is usually in white. But the smaller sizes of pipe, they'll put in blue or in red to designate either hot or cold.
We've got the tools. What kind of things are we looking at here to fix my pipes? Teach me.
One thing that I have in here is just some plugs. If something broke, a line broke, and it was going to be hard to get to, I might just put a plug in there. Just cut that line and put a plug so that I stop the water flow until we can get something fixed.
Okay, but you just said put a plug in it, but if I were just to put the plug in the end, it wouldn't actually plug it, right? There's one more step.
Yes, that is a good point.
And you have to teach me this step because I don't understand.
So we use these little pinch clamps, and this pinch tool, you would put the plug in here,
Okay.
and then you would use this pinch clamp and the pinch tool to pinch that shut and seal that off.
That would keep the plug from
that keeps
just
the
popping
plug.
out.
Now we also have here some couplers, which just allow you to put two pieces together. Say if you had a little pinhole leak, you could just cut it there, put in a coupler, and use again the pinch clamps and put that in place.
So I've got a hole in here. I would cut it here, I would cut it here, and I would need 2 pinch clamps and 2 couplers, and then a little piece that I cut off of there so that I can patch it.
Yeah, and if, like I say, if it was just a pinhole, you would just cut it right at the pinhole and then use the coupler,
wouldn't even need
and you
that
wouldn't even
extra.
need the extra
Okay.
little piece of pipe or the extra pinch clamp. So also some valves so that I could put that in the system, turn it off until we can get whatever fixed, and then you can turn this back on. So having a few of these valves is nice.
And that's what we have in our manifold, right? We've got our manifold and there are all kinds of valves for each line so we can turn off each line.
Actually, we don't have valves in each of those lines, but we do in some of them, and I wanted to have enough so that I could put them in most of the rest.
Okay.
And so, if we ever needed to, I could cut that, put that valve in, then shut it off and do whatever we need to do, and then it can be turned back on very easily.
Okay. But then you have other things like this.
This is a temperature pressure valve that goes on a water heater, and we've had a couple of these that have needed to be replaced. One of them seized up, which is a huge problem because this allows excess pressure in there to release. Usually that doesn't happen, but if for some reason that water heater wasn't shutting off and you didn't have this valve working, your water heater would probably explode. It would just get so hot and so much pressure it would blow things apart. And so
That would not be good.
that's what this is for. That's why it's called a pressure temperature valve. And so I have a couple of these just so that if we need to replace those, I've got them on hand.
So how do I know which one of these I need for my water heater?
These are just standard. For domestic water heaters, you can just go down to the hardware store, as long as they have it, and get one of these to replace the one that's failing.
And then what is this?
This is a pressure reducing valve. We have this just as it comes inside our house. We have a pressure reducing valve because our natural pressure here is about 85 pounds, and that's a bit higher than, well, substantially higher than I'm comfortable having it. High pressures in your home wear things out faster. Your lines are more apt to break if they're at high pressures. Appliances don't last as long with high pressure. So this knocks that pressure down from about 85 down to somewhere around between 40 and 50. That's a nice pressure that still allows you to have the pressure you need for your appliances, a good shower, without all the excess pressure in the lines.
Okay, and there's a couple reasons why, if I'm understanding correctly, this, if I have a lower pressure, it makes my dishwasher last longer. It makes my washing machine last longer. And then it also makes it so that when I turn on the tap, not quite as much water comes out. So we are saving water, which is his big pet peeve.
Yes, I did my career in water and water conservation and the legal aspects of water, and it's in me that water conservation is important, and especially in a crisis, water conservation is extremely important.
So we've got all these parts, and one of the important things I think to talk about is that he's got them all in this container so that we know where the container is. If there's any kind of a plumbing problem, we know where to find the parts. Both of us do.
Right.
Because sometimes if he stashes it away and I don't know where it is, then it doesn't do us any good.
Now, this is a work in progress. I've got most of what I need here. There are still a couple of things that I would like to get to add to this. We try and improve it a little bit. One of those is the supply line from our meter to our house, and that is a bigger piece of pipe, and I'm hoping I'll find somebody building a house and they'll have an extra 10-foot piece that I can just stash away, and the parts, so that if we ever had a line break out there, it wouldn't be fun, but we could dig it up and get it fixed. The other one is shower valves that we've got 3 showers in our house, so if I had to, I'd shower in one of the others. But I would like to have those shower valves just so that I can easily replace those if needed. So, a couple of those on hand would be nice to have. Now let's talk about your homework assignments. And I've got 5 things that I would like you to do. So the first one is to know where your utility shutoff is. Where can you shut off that water from, whatever it is, your well or your city? I spent some time as the manager of our city water system, and I was amazed how many people had no idea where that shutoff was. And because all those meters are read electronically. A lot of those had been covered up. You know, people just covered right over them, threw dirt on them and planted grass, and people couldn't find them. It's so important that you know where that utility shutoff is so that you can turn that water off.
And you need to have the right tool to be able to do that, right? Because ours is one of those big keys that you have to turn, right?
Yeah. Homework assignment number 2 is to know where the shutoff is in your home. Every home should have an indoor shutoff where you can shut that water supply off if there's a problem, so you can get things fixed. If you don't know where that is, find it. As a backup, you would use the utility shutoff out in your yard. Now, homework assignment number 3 is take a few minutes and learn about your system. Understand what material your system is made of, you know, what kinds of pipe, what parts you might need, generally how your system works, where your water comes in, where it goes to a manifold or to other distribution pipes, how it gets into your water heater and then back out, all these kinds of things. Just take a few minutes and understand the flow of your system, where things go. A lot of that's going to be covered up with sheetrock or whatever, and so it may be a little tough, but you can kind of start guessing, okay, the line goes out here and then it's covered up. You know where it comes into your sink, in your bathroom or in your kitchen, where it goes into the toilets, where it comes out of the wall, usually out of the wall, and feeds the toilet. So you can kind of start getting it figured out in your head how the system works. Number 4 is then you can figure out what you do to make your system functional, how to keep that up and running in a crisis situation. Find whatever parts you might need and get what you need that would allow you to rebuild your system if you needed to. Number 5 homework assignment is don't forget about your home storage of water. Having that water supply that's going to bridge that gap so that even if you need to get it fixed, it's probably going to be down for a little bit. Having that water stored is so important, and we've got lots of resources to help you get there. Now for the question of the day. For you plumbers and those with experience dealing with plumbing projects, which in my opinion are some of the most frustrating problems I've ever dealt with, well, oh, never, no. Share with us other ideas that maybe I've missed. Let's get your input on things that maybe should be added or other ideas. Comment below, and thanks for being part of the solution.